Stream is starting. The Captain Coder at the helm. Bean water is ready. Today we will learn a lot. He loves the questions, he loves to sing. Join our Discord and follow him.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you happen to be in the world. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. Captain Coder here on this beautiful Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. How's everyone's week going? Wednesday, I know a lot of people are like, oh, gotta get over that hump. They call it hump day. You gotta get over that hump. It's the middle of the week, working for the weekend, trying to get there. You know, I always love Wednesday. You know why I love Wednesday? Because I gotta be here with you beautiful people, coding it up. Any day I can wake up and code is a beautiful day, and today is a beautiful day because of all of you beautiful people. It's so wonderful to have all of you here. Code Monk, congratulations on your #1. Corpless, thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you here. It's sunny in the UK. If it's anything, it's too warm. Yeah, it's pretty warm here too. Let me check the temperature where I'm at right now. Oh, I have a watch. My watch tells me the temperature. Hang on, what does it say? It is currently 66, let's see, 66 Fahrenheit to Celsius. It is currently 18.9 degrees Celsius here. It's 4 a.m. though. It's 4 a.m. though. It's supposed to get up to 96 Fahrenheit, 35.5 Celsius later today. So it's gonna be a spicy day today in the world of Captain Coder. So I'm gonna try and stay inside where it's nice and cool, keep myself. It's a little bit spicy, yeah. Living in the desert, living it up in the desert, a little bit spicy here. Code Monk, it's wonderful to have you here. Moon is. I hope the moon's keeping you cool, keeping you cool. You're already a cool guy, or are you keeping the moon cool? Because you're so cool. That makes sense. That's why people love the moon, because you're there. That makes sense. You're the man on the moon. Gee, thank you so much for popping in. It's always a pleasure to have you here with us. Solomon, welcome back as well. I'm so excited to have you here. Dramulx, I hope your game's coming along. And Sidian, thank you once again for that beautiful intro song. Terranam, it's so wonderful to see you folks. Do you guys know Terranam? Do you know Terranam? If you don't know Terranam, you gotta give him a follow. Click that button here, because you know what? Terranam's game Hexahedra is coming out tomorrow. Check out this puzzle game. This puzzle game by Hexahedra by Terranam. SideQuest Ninja is the developer name there. That's awesome. What a cool developer name. Let's check out this trailer. One second. Let me get this going. Hang on. Oh no, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. Hang on. Something's not right. My stream deck. Okay, there we go. Let's get this audio. There we go. Here, we gotta start it over. Look at this puzzle game. Look at this amazing looking puzzle game. You guys gotta go. I've been watching this game for months now. This is gonna be my type of game. I can't wait to test it out. Can't wait to play it. We're gonna be playing it live. Terranam's gonna be joining me on stream next week. We're gonna figure out the day we're gonna come on, and we're gonna play through this. We're gonna learn a little bit about programming. We're gonna do all kinds of fun stuff. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to play it. Terranam, thank you so much for making this game. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Look at this beautiful puzzle game. Go small for competitors. This. It's like what's the game I'm thinking of? It's like reminds me of Factorio. You're automating the building of these things, solving these puzzles, putting together workstations, like the Zachtronic games a little bit. It looks so good. This is awesome. I cannot wait to. I can't tell you how many times I've seen you working on this on stream, Terranam, and been like, I gotta play this. Go check it out, folks. Look at this. Boom. You know what day that is? What day this is? That's tomorrow. Less than, look, at that number there, 23 hours. I'm so excited. I can't wait to play it. Terranam, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much for sharing your game with us. I can't wait to check it out. I'm super excited for it. But what are we working on here today? Well, I'll tell you what we're working on here. We're continuing to work. Does it have DRM? That's a good question. Can they get a DRM free version somewhere? Perhaps, maybe, possibly. I don't know. That's a good question. Solomon Ternam, is it DRM free? Skydriver, welcome back to the stream. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Are you all healthy and safe? I'm so healthy. I'm so safe. And I'm having a beautiful morning. Having a beautiful morning. ARHS heard in the background. I don't know what ARHS is. Can just run the EXA directly through the leaderboards. It says it won't work because they're powered by Steam. Gotcha. I'm mending, to be honest, but on a good state. I'm glad to hear you're mending. We are building an editor for our tactics-based combat. We're creating a game. It's like a tactical combat makes it sound like it's a military-based game. It's not. It's like a party-based tactic game. We're working on building an editor for it. We've made some progress here. So the thing we want to do now, and we built all the tools to do it, we want to create this selection box. I want to be able to do a selection box like this, and we started this out here. I did some I did some refactoring yesterday. To make the tools a little bit easier to create. So we can do a shift click to create this yellow box. This is called the selection tool. Regular click creates a tile. Control click erases chunks of a tile. But what I want is to be able to do a shift click and then be able to drag that piece around, do a copy, do a paste. So we're going to be working a little bit today on a clipboard-esque tool. That's the issue that we're working on. Implement select tiles and move. Okay. And so the way I've decided I want to do that is have a clipboard where you can select things like so and click and drag, that type of stuff. Okay. Where is Visual Studio? Hang on. Visual Studio? Are you even open? There it is. Okay. So let me show you a little bit of the refactor we did. This was much gnarlier last time. I learned about this new tag type in Blazor called a dynamic component. Dynamic component lets us at runtime, it sort of does dynamic dispatch. You can think of it as a way to use an interface. It's kind of like, I really want my tool to be able to render a little bit differently based on the tool. You'll notice I'm getting a yellow box, a red box, or the gray box for my preview when I'm drawing these things. And I wanted to be able to easily switch between the tools. Before I had this logic in each one of these different sections. So now it's pretty easy. I have this get tool that takes in my current mouse event. So this is what keys I'm holding. It's interesting how it's called the mouse event. So when I click, I can check, am I holding the shift key? Am I holding the control key? If I'm holding the shift key, we're gonna get the selection tool, the select tiles tool. Tool might be the wrong word here. I can't quite come up with a better one. For holding control, we'll get the remove tiles tool. Otherwise, we get the create tool. So if we're not holding anything, it creates the tools. And then we just forward it off to this tool here. So check drop, check drag, just has, hey, if I have a tool, call the appropriate method on it. And this is, I feel like I managed to use object-oriented programming in a good way. This is, in solid programming, this would be the L. The L, what is it? The solid programming. Let's go look at the L. I always forget the name of it. It's a terrible name. The solid in L stands for like Lindheischer, the Liskov substitution principle. Liskov substitution principle, where you want to be able to substitute different things into here. Function that use pointers or reference to base class must be able to use objects of derived classes without knowing it. All right, so we can use the tool that we've selected here to dynamically choose around. Everyone around makes games in Steam. I can't even make slopes and loops. Sigian, it's a tricky. I wish I had separated into just slopes or just loops. I feel a little bad that I did both here. Patrick, welcome back to the stream. Captain Enosa, it's wonderful to have you here. Hope you're both having a beautiful day on this beautiful Wednesday. Captain Enosa, how you been, my friend? Folks, be sure to give Captain Enosa some love. What have you been working on recently, Captain Enosa? Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. But yeah, we have this tool here, and then the underlying code for each one of these is actually really quite simple. If we go into our create tools, when we're, maybe I abstracted this a little bit too far, actually. So I created a parent class called Bounding Box Tool. Bounding Box Tool basically has a start position. This is where you started your drag. And then the board renderer here is the thing you're drawing on. It says that when I drag over, update my selection. This is the bounding box we're drawing. Go ahead and update my selection. And then these other things, it's so simple. It's so simple. Select tiles becomes pretty simple. We got to figure out what to do when we drop, when we release. And so this is sort of where I am here. When we release, I think we need, so this is the select tile. So we need this idea of a clipboard. In my mind, we need this idea of a clipboard layer or like a selection layer. Lately I've been working on pixel art for my retro Cute 'em Up based off of the classic arcade game Fantasy Zone. That sounds awesome. You got any links for us? If you don't have any links, that's okay. I love it. A Cute 'em Up. It's not a beat 'em up. It's a Cute 'em Up. That sounds really fun. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. So, yeah, I want to add in this idea of a selection layer. A selection layer. Right now, if I click and drag this, nothing much happens. I can delete this here. What I want to do is on release, notice I can cancel it. You can't tell, but if I press escape, it actually cancels the effect there. Kovalaki, welcome to the stream. Congratulations on your number 10. I would like to have this turn on the selection layer. It's going to select these tiles here. And so I need this idea of a selection board. And I think we're going to add that on top here. That's what I'm thinking I want to do here. Let's try it here. Let's try. I'm going to go into my tile overlay layer here. And I'm going to add in another div. And this is going to be our selection layer. And honestly, I think the selection layer, let me think about this, might need to be a separate component. But the selection layer needs to know, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking current selection. Yeah, I think it needs to be a new one. Oryx, you're so close. You're so close to a hat there, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. It's great to see you. I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday. Just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. You'll get one in there. No worries. I hope you're enjoying your lunch. I've been doing, for almost 2 weeks now, I've been doing intermittent fasting where I'm not allowed to eat for 16 hours a day. 16 hours a day. And then I can eat for the other 8. And so I don't know why you were talking about eating. I was going like, I woke up this morning really wanting to eat, but I'm not hungry. I think, I'm not hungry. Intermittent fasting is cool. I've been enjoying it. It's been really, really good for me. I feel like I have more energy. Sounds great. Gotcha. Yeah, I've read a lot about it. My partner, she does fasting quite frequently. And so I was inspired by her to do it. So, okay. I think I want to, there's a couple things I could do here. I think I want to create the selection. I want to create a component called selection or like clipboard layer, something like that. Selection. Thank you for the dopamine. Fixed. Yeah, I got it. We're gonna get that fixed. Thank you for the dopamine. Get me going. I don't know what to call this thing. Selection layer. Selection, because it's gonna be where our let's call it clipboard layer. Okay, we're gonna create a thing called clipboard layer. This is gonna be a layer that it's like has an extra board renderer on top, and it contains tiles, contains your current selected area inside of it. I think that's what I want to do. Let's create a folder here. I'm gonna call this clipboard. Is clipboard 2 words or 1 word? Clipboard 1 or 2 words? I guess it's 1 word. Clipboard, lowercase b. Okay, lowercase b. We're gonna call this clipboard renderer. Let's call it clipboard renderer. Okay. Maybe I should just call it clipboard. I don't know. Clipboard layer. I don't know. Renderer. I think we're going to call it clipboard renderer. We'll have this idea of a clipboard. Yeah. This is what we're going to do. Let's make this a lowercase. We're going to create
You in the back. Pay attention.
I think it needs to be inside of board. All right. So it's our board clipboard. Because it's, I think that's what we're going to do. Let's create a new, I'm trying to learn the hotkey, Shift F2. Clipboard, I want to do a capital board, renderer dot razor. It's going to be a razor component in here. And it's going to render very, very similar. I didn't want to open that. I wanted to go back to our tile overlay. It's going to be one of these. So I'm noticing I'm using this board overlay over and over and over to represent a thing that it takes up the whole space. Oh, I don't know if I actually need that. Let's go look at this here. Control-Alt-N. Maybe I do. Yeah, because 100% doesn't make sense. This board overlay feels like a thing. I'm going to move this. Alternatively, I could do this. If I add this deep in front, it lets us give it to children components myself as well. Children components myself as well is that's an interesting way to say. Let's add in a div, and this is going to be our board overlay. Okay. Let's create a new class here, and this class is going to be our I'm just gonna call it clipboard preview. All right, we'll call it clipboard preview. So this is going to be like when you're moving things around on the clipboard, you can preview where it's going to be and where it's going to drop. Let's add in, I don't think this will let me create a backing for it, so we got to create a new thing here. Clipboard renderer.razor.css. Okay, and this is our clipboard preview. I'm just going to give it a background color for now, so we can see it rendered on the screen. Let's give it an orange coral, and then we'll give it an opacity of 0.5, so we can see it when it's on there. So we can see, is this rendering, what layers it need to be on, that sort of stuff. And so we're probably gonna end up having to add another layer. But let's see if this lets it render on top. Let's run this. Can I do a hot swap, or does it need to do a full reload here? I'm not seeing it, so I'm probably need to move it up a layer. Let's see if it's even in here. Open Dev Tools. I'm trying to remember. I'm learning how to use. All right, let's come in here. We have our editor content, board panel, board container. Oh, there's so much stuff in here. Hang on. Oh, is this stuff still working? Okay. Putting the deep in front broke this. All right. Okay, deep did not do what I wanted to do. Oh, thank you, Buzzy Luzzy. Welcome back to the stream over on YouTube. Great to see you again. I hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday. Welcome back, Captain Anosa. Thank you for the link. If you want, let's cue it up. Check out Captain Anosa's work on Discord. I'm just gonna add that in here, so I will hopefully not forget, so I can check it out here. If you do !Q followed by a message, it leaves me a message, and I can check it out. It says how long it's been since or when it was made in there. So just a heads up. Sometimes I miss things, so feel free to drop them to me that way. Okay, can I do board overlay? I don't think this will transfer to the child component. I thought I could do a deep. Blazor deep. Do I care about memory usage for this project? I think I do. I think I do. I mean, to the extent of I want it to be able to run on most modern computers, right? So to the extent that I don't want it to be too much of a memory hog. So there are, like, I'm not going to take a ton of time enforcing it. So this deep thing, I'm surprised that didn't work. Entering, can we do this on classes as well? It looks like it might not work on classes. Deep pseudocode. The deep element effects where the scope attribute is applied to the rule. When you define a CSS rule in a scope CSS file, the scope is applied to the rightmost element. Well, yeah. The ability to attach deep to any HTML element doesn't let you attach it to a class. Okay, so I can't attach it to a class. So I kind of am going to just have to copy this again, I think. I don't know if that answered your question, Solomon. More than anything, this is a learning tool for me, and I want it to run well. So I've already done a couple memory optimization things that were causing incredible slowdowns. So the answer is kind of. The answer is kind of. Gotta hit this button. Okay, so we're not seeing the clipboard preview here at all. Clipboard preview. So it might, I'm curious. Put that in a hello. Swap that in. Is this even? All right, it showed it. It got a check marks here. I'm not seeing an overlay. Let's get rid of this opacity. Z index 100. Yeah, this isn't coming through. Let me try running. Maybe I didn't need to actually rebuild this thing. Oh, I do want to get a that's a good question, Solomon. There is an issue for what you're referring to, editor undo redo. So this issue will have an undo redo list, so we can control Z and control Y. So I do have a one here. The command pattern is usually, is it not the only way to do it, is a good way to approach that problem. How we do that. Command pattern is probably what I'll use. And Hyper, welcome back to the stream. Great to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a beautiful day. Why? Let's do a search in here for... Can I not search in here? How do I search? I want to find... Can I not search? Pop out. Can I not search for elements? I want to search in here. That's interesting that I can't search the document. I'm looking for clipboard. Yeah. Why can't I search here? In Chrome, I'm 90% sure I can. Weird. It's got an eyeball. There's like so many of these node tiles. I want to get rid of these. Board overlay, show 6 more nodes. Clipboard renderer, here it is. Clipboard renderer doesn't have this on. Oh, do I need to do a hard refresh? Ah, thank you, Captain Anosa. I was looking for like a search bar, clipboard. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very helpful. What the heck? Why does it have none of this? Is this really not my latest version? That must be what's going on. This is not. Let's try this. Hello? Still not there. All right, let's redock this. I don't like it. Too hard to stream with it not docked. Clipboard. Clipboard renderer. Oh, you know what? I bet I have. Tile overlay. Yes, this can't find it. Okay, I need to add it to my imports. Okay. Clipboard. There we go. There it is. Okay. Now it's drawing it on there. All right. So what I wanted to do, I do that. It doesn't see it anymore. Okay. But I want to see, can I close the wrong thing? Make this a deep. I don't think I can. All right, board. All right, so it has the board overlay on it. Yes, so I can't do that. Everything gets, all right, so deep on class doesn't work. So I still need to include this. That's really interesting. All right, so I'll still need to include that. Let's get rid of this Z index. We're gonna have to add a layer. Opacity 0.5 just to see it. All right, so it is on top. You can still do these things. Still do these things. All right. Let's get rid of that hello there. What I want to do with this with our clipboard renderer, I want to highlight this selected area. So we're going to create a box around. We need to highlight the tiles that are selected. So let's have a parameter on this. This is going to be our public bounding box. We're going to make this a required. No, it can be null. Bounding box selected. Okay. Bruno, Faria's dev. Bruno. Have you met him? I'm Bruno. Have you met that Bruno? Thank you for following me today. Bruno, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to Captain Coders Academy. Welcome to the stream. All right, so what I want to do, I'm going to say if selected is a bounding box, we're going to go ahead and use a bounding box renderer, and we're going to give it a color. So this is interesting because I think I just want it to be an outline. So we might have to adjust. We're going to have to add some things to our bounding box renderer to make it so you can just do outlines and have no text inside as well. Selected tiles. Select tiles. We're going to have to go double check what classes are options. And then our rectangle. I should really call this. Yeah. That one's just a string. Selected. Oh, it can be just box actually. Selected. This can be just box. That's why we did this here so we can pattern match it out. Rectangle is a terrible name here. Let's go into our bounding box renderer. let's rename this. At the time, I wasn't sure what I was doing. Bounding box. All right, let's see if that's probably gonna break some stuff. Renaming things like that can be difficult. Oh, it didn't break it. It did update it properly. Okay. So what I want to do is, yes. In our tile editor overlay, in our select tiles, we need to add in a reference to our clipboard renderer. So that way we can have the selection specified. So I want to make this a reference to clipboard. So I'm going to create a variable down here. It's going to be our private clipboard renderer, clipboard. So notice I can say, hey, this thing is down here. This is this. Make this required. Get set like that. I suppose we can make it a why isn't it like that? Can be less visible than the. I guess I can make it. Hang on. Must contain a non-null. I'd have to specify something for it. We'll start with it being null. We'll say it's nullable. And down here, we're going to add this to our select tools. We're going to say when we select something, I want to include a clipboard renderer here. And that clipboard, when we finish, we're going to set the selected equal to our selection. Like this. Can we do... It's saying... Unpin you. What's that? Good question, Solomon. Let's take a look at it in just a minute. Selected should not be set outside of this component. Go to my clipboard renderer. Is it because it's a parameter? Let's do it this way. Does that... Why is that? I don't understand this warning. Okay, it doesn't like that it's a parameter. There's no argument. Okay, so now I have to pass in. This will be our clipboard renderer. And let's add in a little and clipboard has is not null. I don't think this matters. And then it'll let us pass it in there. I think this should get us the renderer there. All right, let's redo this. Okay, it's still not. Setting the selected. I'm a little surprised we don't see that. Did I add it to my tile overlay? I did. I hit the wrong button there. Hey, Verily, I want to thank you for following me today. We've got Kay Verily following the Captain Coder. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. We're gonna make this RGBA. Let's make it just a green with a light opacity. This is just for testing. I want to be able to see that I am interacting with this particular layer. Ooh, come on, autocomplete, driving me a little bit nutty there. Okay. I can add things, I can remove things when I select. That selection box, is it coming through? The select tiles should be setting our clipboard to our selection. Go into our... Surprised this isn't getting redrawn. I want to test Solomon with the hat redeem. Let's get a hat added to this stack. All right, let's get this hat stack started. Get the hat stack started. Get a little bit in here. My box, I don't even have my box of hats ready to go. Thank you for the hat redeem. Let's get a hat on this head. Thank you so much for the hat redeem, Solomon. Okay, let's hop back in here. We're gonna take a brief moment. Let's answer some questions. Our queue's getting a little bit spicy here. All right, let's check out Captain Zenosa's work on the Discord. All right, give me a second. I like to do it this way while I pull things up. Captain Zenosa, thank you so much for sharing. And if you're not on the Discord, everybody, feel free to join. Love to have you over there. Ooh, this is some great work. Look at this stuff. Captain Zenosa, to get more familiar with Godot 4, I decided to create a cute 'em up in a similar style to the arcade classic Fantasy Zone. So far, I have a ship that can fly around and shoot at enemy bases. So I started working on some pixel art for the game. This is what I have so far. Look at this, nice. What tool are you using? Are you using Aseprite? Libre Sprite, perhaps? Nice work with your pixel art, Captain Zenosa. Yeah, click that fire button. Looking forward to playing it. Thank you so much for sharing. It's nice. Aseprite, nice. All right. Solomon says, do you care about memory use? We kind of talked about that. These two we talked about. Okay. So the next question was, you can't extend a sealed class, right? Yes. So sealed tells the compiler, tells the computer, hey, this thing will not be extended. You can't extend it. It lets the compiler do some interesting potential optimizations on how the code is written. It turns out putting sealed there is typically a good thing to do if you don't intend to have it subclass. What happens if a record versus a struct? So basically, it is a record by itself is a class, but you can add in a record struct as well. So if we look at, I don't think we make it. So structs are not extendable is one part. This is just a leftover word. It's a record class by default. This word is implied if you don't put it there. We can go look at position. This one, I made a struct for some reason. I think we should change this to a class at some point. But making it a struct makes it, you cannot extend structs. So I can't make a subclass of this. And you'll notice I can't make it sealed. If I put sealed there, it says structs, the sealed can't be on a struct. All this does is it makes this particular object type, this data type, a struct rather than a class. And so structs are value types and classes are reference types. That's the biggest difference. Or that is the difference. I was gonna say the biggest difference. That is the difference. Records versus references versus values. Thank you for the suggestion, Corfless, on the DAO. Is it DAO of programming? Might be worth Googling. Drop me a link, add it to a reference on, add it as a suggestion on Discord. I might take a look at it later. Thank you for sharing. Okay. So I'm not sure if selected is being, I want to rename this anyway, current selection. Okay. I'm going to make this private bounding box current selection. Let's make this a class this way because I want to see set value. For some reason, this appears to not be working. So we'll do current selection equals value. I want to see, is this getting sent? And if it is, why isn't it showing this? Or is it showing it and it's just not? It's behind something. I want to know what's going on with that. So we'll look at our console. So it is setting it. It's not being rendered, or if it is, we don't see it. So let's do a search in here for bounding box. Clipboard. Show more nodes. Clipboard. Yeah, it's not inside of that. I can get rid of that board overlay. We're not using that. I don't understand. Current selection should be a bounding box. Hang on. Current selection is bounding box. It should say true. True. So I don't know why. Let's add in a p tag, hello world. Outside. Expanded Cuber. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Thank you for popping in. I hope you've been well. All right, so we have hello world. We have outside. Oh, now it's drawing it. It's almost like the state has changed. That's interesting. Do I have to call state has changed? I don't like that. Okay. All right. So we can get it that way. I am really surprised that I have to call state has changed here. That's the size of the bounding box. So it's 7 wide and 6 tall on our grid. So that's the size of the selection. So it gives us a little bit of a hint there. That's right, we're blazing fast, Dragon Spirit Games. We are blazing fast. What does it do? All it does is it's telling me how big that bounding box is. It's so when I'm making a map, it's a little bit easier for me to do it. Thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat on this stack, Dragon Spirit Games. Thank you so much. There it is. Twice the hats, twice the power. Ooh, with a bonus hat. 3 times the hats, 3 times the power. Now, with 3 times the hats. Thank you so much for the hat redeems, Dragon Spirit Games. How have you been? How's your game Gaia coming along? Interesting that you use state. I thought it was only used in the AI to refer to state of environment in the AI. I don't understand your reference, Corpless. Or maybe that was I don't get it. Maybe it was a joke. I'm not sure. All right, let's get rid of that. I want doing pretty good. Wrote most of the GDD for it live on stream last Monday. Nice. That's your game design document. Okay, so now we can have a selection here. What I want to do is if we end up using the other tools, there's a couple things I want to do. All right, so this will set the selection. I don't need this. It's going to force me to implement it. This will just do nothing. It can be empty. We'll probably actually end up adding something to the selection when we do that, which is interesting. We can have a selection that that has I kind of like the way Aseprite does it, where you can have like selections that doesn't have to be a contiguous area. That might be really confusing to some people, though. All right. So we have our clipboard. The value is getting set. I want the bounding box renderer to be just an outline. Parameter, public bool. I'm going to call this one builds. Guess it doesn't need true by default. We want to make it just be a border, right? I want it to be a border and not have the text inside. That's another parameter. I want parameter public bool show text. That'll be the default here. So dimension info will become show text. We'll show that, otherwise we show nothing. There'll be no text shown. If we are filled, okay, Verily, I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I've been really loving C#. I've only been using it for about, I guess I keep saying only 3 years. I've been using it for about 3 years. I really like C#. This is my first serious Blazor project. I did a little bit of a tiny website before. And so this is me learning web dev. I'm not the best web dev. So this is also me learning about web development. We need to, yes, this will be good. This will be good. I need a new class here, but yeah, K Verily, what type of application, what type of tools do you build at work? We need a private string, which is going to determine filled or outline. Okay, filled or outline. And this will go to is filled question. We're going to do filled colon outline. Okay. And so we can use a class here to think of property management software. Interesting. Interesting. That sounds like it could be fun to work on. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a conflict with these, I think. Let's pull my bounding box renderer over here so we can look at this. The bounding box color class build outline. I think I want to do this. I want to have filled class outline class like that. We'll make this a nullable. And we'll say if we're filled, we're going to do filled or null. So, okay, Verily, I would love if you have any feedback for me. Backseat, and this goes for anyone, backseat coding is always welcome here. I'm always trying to learn as I go, learn, get better. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. In this case, if we are, I guess what I want to do here is parameter public bool outline outlined, and by default we'll go with false. Like this. Okay, so I like this. It's been fun working on the website. I was never a web dev, so it's cool to learn more. Yeah, that's sort of happened. I've dabbled in it. I've had jobs where I've had to do some front-end stuff. I've never been good at it, but I feel like I'm getting much better. So in this case, we'll do border color. We're going to make the border color, we'll make it the same color. All right, I think this is the way I want to do it. Border 255, 255. And then we'll have two ooh, this is interesting because I could do border, hang on, we're calling it outlined. If we're outlined, then we'll have border width, and we'll do 2 pixels like this. So if we're outlined, we'll do 2 pixels. What's interesting is I need to know, can I do, I think there's like a selector I can do here that says filled, right? Yeah, so let's go look at CSS selectors. CSS attribute selector. I think I can use this here. Yeah, I can say if I have an attribute. Okay, so we can add in an attribute to these. Okay, so rather than doing filled outlined here, we can make an attribute filled is equal to the value that's coming here with filled. Outlined. Then we don't have a class for it. Instead, we go ahead and we add in, let's be capital O. You were a web dev? I didn't know that about you, Dragon Spirit Games. What is this? Missing a property name before a colon. This is an IntelliSense thing. I'm pretty sure this is not a real warning. Let's check if we do an actual build here. So one thing about working with Blazor that has driven me a little bit crazy, and I thought it was VS Code, but the IntelliSense struggles. There it goes. Got it to work. IntelliSense struggles. Yeah, there's always more to learn. Always more to learn, indeed. Okay. Want to add in, I think I can do bounding box outlined like this, and then I can say border width. So if outlined, that's interesting, and is true. I think this is how I would do it. Let's test this out. Let's test this out. Let's is a hot load gonna work for us there? I need to give these things borders. Hang on, let's make the outlined true by default. Filled isn't gonna do anything just yet. Let's hot swap that in. Maybe not. Thought I'd be able to do something like that. Have a beautiful day, Kay Verley. We'll be back next week, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for popping in. Thank you for hanging out. Okay. Let me, just to see if this is working, we're gonna put it here. Border color. Let's go with red, just so we can really see it. I'm gonna comment out these. Oh, does it need to be a true there? I'm also wondering if I even need that there. I just want to make sure I can see it. Eileen, welcome back to the stream, by the way. Eileen Rude. Great to see you. It's still not just, it's just the border, I don't see it at all. Even if I put it here. Oh, I need to do border style solid. I need this. I need this. There we go. There we go. Okay, so that was part of it. It has to be solid. Let's move this here. Okay. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. So I don't actually need to do the equals true. I can just have it outlined like that. Let's make sure this is actually happening. Yeah, swapped in there. So let's set it to false. Swap it in. Yeah, so now when I draw these new ones, they don't have it. That one does, because in our clipboard, do we say it's outlined? Clipboard. We don't, but it should be. That's interesting that that one didn't work through. Now I've made a massive PR where we went from Net 7 to Net 8 just from yesterday. Net 7 is no longer supported. Net 7's not supported as of yesterday in your product or in general? I didn't know that. I thought it would go until the end of .NET, until .NET 9 came out. When you say it's not supported, is that what you mean? Oh, wow. That's interesting that it goes out before Net 9 comes out. But I guess you have 8, right? You have .NET 8 you can migrate to. How long because isn't their support life cycle 2 years? Long-term support is 2 years? Or am I wrong about that? Or do they just come out with a new one every 2 years? Microsoft, .NET duration. 3 years. Okay, I thought the long-term support was every, even numbered releases are LTS that get free support for 3 years. Gotcha. Wow. Well, good thing I'm on .NET 8, right? Okay. Get rid of this. And this is confusing to me that I need that. Bounding box render. You know what? This is actually, let's rebuild this here. Lance, welcome back to the stream. Happy Wednesday. Thank you congratulations on your 14. Thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat here. Here lies. That's right. I need a tombstone. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. That's right. Need a tombstone, a gravestone for .NET 7. Okay, so I do need, maybe? Let's try it here. Okay. All right. So it doesn't have it, but if okay. In this, in the clipboard renderer, we can say outlined equals outlined. We can just do outlined like this. And now those will show up with the bounding box. Let's change the styling here. I'm going to pull this onto another monitor. And then let's add in a video source so you guys can see it here. This would be that one. Oh, that's too much. Let's shrink that down for you. So just so you can see when I'm on the other, there you go. You can kind of see what I'm doing over here in the top right. Just a little bit easier for me to work on it on a separate monitor and have it do hot swapping so I can see the styling as we change it. I don't want the border color to be red. The border color should come from these. There we go. And I'm wondering if bounding box build opacity is not what I want. I want the background color. Ooh, this is interesting because I only want, might have to swap out the outlined. We might have to do, Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to create two, one for filled. Add tiles, one for outlined. Which fills a little bit, so we can do border, 1 pixel solid. Filled. Then we can get rid of this. Filled. Outlined. Feels a little weird. To break it up this way, I'm not sure if it actually is. And now we're not getting, well, we are probably getting that border. It's just, I need to do background, sorry, not background. This should be border, 1 pixel solid. Border, 1 pixel solid. There we go. And so now we can do background color RGBA 0000, and we can say that filled equals false for our clip. There we go. There we go. I like it. I like it. All right, so now I can highlight. I can do this click and drag to highlight an area. Once it's selected, okay. All right, cool. So this is what we have now. I can still do these. I can still cut them out. When I hold shift and drag, it shows the whole highlighted area, but when I let go, we get just the outline of the selected area. Okay, so now that we have that, I want to make this box draggable. So this box here should be on a layer above things so that I can click and drag this selection here. So if I have an area selected, this selected area, I can click and drag it. That's there. It snaps to the object. What happens if you select more than the shape that is there? Oh, you mean this? It doesn't. It won't let you select beyond the outside. Does that make sense? So it like cancels out. You cannot go beyond that area. So it'll only select. It like cancels. You have to release on the map itself. Did that answer your question, Dragon Spirit? But you can make you can zoom out. So if we had a much bigger map, we might zoom out, and then we could select like that. Was that your question? I'm not sure if that was actually your question or not. Okay. So I want this to be draggable. I selected more than an object. I guess I didn't understand your question. So hopefully it was answered. Hopefully you're not left wondering. Oh yeah, so this is just selecting a board. So yeah, we could select this here and then drag that whole selection somewhere else. That's the whole idea. Okay. That's looking okay. This needs to be a draggable. Is draggable? Yeah, so draggable is a thing. It's going to create a drag data. I'm not sure if this is the right route to take. Or if I should manually implement this this thing. Part of me is thinking the selected area, the internal selected area is like a box inside it. I think it need to make it render a board in here rather than, so we have the bounding box, then there's sort of going to be a child content inside of it. And that's going to be another it's going to be a copy of what's inside that selection. So current selection is this bounding box. When it changes, we're going to have to get a board in here. Yeah, so I actually think we need to get a board, or we need a way to pass this off to the clipboard. So current selection is selection like this, but the selection might actually be a, yeah, this is interesting. I have to consider some things. I need a reference to my board here, or a reference to the board selection. So we could propagate the board in. That's probably the easiest way to do this, is in our clipboard, part of a cascading value. Cascading parameter, private. Probably needs to be our board renderer parent. Oh, public. All right, so the parent will be here. So technically I have a parent, so I have a selection. I can populate this with another smaller board renderer. So that way when I drag it, it shows the content that's inside. So I think we might need a child content inside of here. This is an interesting thing. The alternative would be to, yeah, I think I want that. The alternative would be have a board render that is overlaid on top of it. Can we get, here, let's try something. Can we get parent.board? I'm pretty sure this is cascaded in. Dot, board. Do we not have? That's interesting. Search for file bounding. Sorry, not bounding box. Board editor extensions. Get selection. Get selection. It's interesting that we're not seeing this of current selection. Do we have to do using Captain Coder dot tactics engine dot board? Oh, this isn't a weird namespace. There we go. Okay. That was weird. All right, now we have it's saying it can be null. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to say we have like another board renderer. Yeah, so it's interesting here because I have a board renderer. And I need to be able to reuse this. But the one I want to have doesn't have like a drag grid inside of it. It's just the actual renderer. So it's kind of making me think that this drag grid yeah, this is very interesting to me. Let's create a parameter. Oh wow, there's a lot of interesting things here. Create another parameter. Public bool is parent. It'll be a is child. Okay, so if it is a child, or like is a layer, we want to make it so we can't interact with all of these things. Will be interactable as well. All right, let's do it without. Oh, this is fascinating. So what I want to have happen well, we won't be able to interact with it because there will be some stuff on top of it. Okay, so I think we'll be okay. This is an interesting little thing. This interesting little puzzle I've created for myself. All right, my clipboard. I want to create a board runner inside. Does it ever get uncomfortable with that many hats on? Not with this many. When I have 16 hats, it gets a little uncomfortable. So when I get up to 16 hats, I think around 10 hats, it starts getting, it can get a little bit uncomfortable. Okay. Yeah, so there's a couple things here. There's going to be a div here. It's going to be our draggable layer. Drag. Patrick, thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat on here. Let's get another hat added to the stack. Boom, let's go. Let's go. Thank you for the hat, Patrick. It's just too loud. It's too loud for people who are sleeping. Expanded Cuber, thank you for the hat. Let's get another hat added to this stack. There we go. There we go. Yeah, not uncomfortable yet. Thank you for the hats. So I want this to be draggable. And we'll call this drag. Drag area. Oh no, we got two hats. No, oh no, I guess. Oh yeah. I should say, oh yeah. This is gonna be our drag area here. Thank you for the bonus hats. Let's get 2 more hats added to the stack here. 1 hat. Oh yeah. 1 hat. 2 hats. There we go. I hear like, do you ever get uncomfortable wearing that many hats? How about now? How about no? But how about now? Thank you for the hats. All right. So it's gonna be our drag area. Probably need to get a better name than this. But I'm gonna come over to, let's do our backing file here. Drag area. It's gonna have a fit width, fit content, height, fit content. So it's gonna have the whole content fit inside of it. And then I want to have a board render inside of this. All right, so this is the area that you can click on. Let's add a color to it, just so we can make sure background color red. And I think we might not, just make sure our bounding box, we might not actually see it. Border 2 pixel solid red, just so we can see it there. Push that in. No metal helmets, yeah. On April Fool's Day, you should do football helmets instead of hats, just increasing larger football helmets. Right? Look, where do we find increasing, like, nested football helmets? We need to get some nested football helmets. All right, so I don't see the red there, which is interesting. I'm surprised we're not seeing the drag area here. Do a search in here for drag area. Okay, it's taking up drag area. Oh, it's just in the top left corner there. That's interesting. And then our bounding box. So I don't understand that. Position absolute. Does it need to be this as well? That is interesting. I don't understand that. On episodes, he should pretend that he has a neck brace because we're just. I don't want to scare anyone. I don't want to scare anyone. You guys are hilarious. How do I get it to? I'm gonna pull this over here while I'm making changes. Shouldn't I'm gonna look at my yeah, because it's like inside of that. So that. So our drag area would have to be a little bit cute. Last April Fools, there was Iron John Games to pretend he sold this game, and you mean Irish John? She would only be playing Minecraft on stream. Yeah, I remember that. I do actually remember him saying that. Irish John, not Iron John. I'm assuming you mean Irish John. All right, this is interesting. Maybe I have to make this draggable. Ah, yes, good old Iron John. I'm glad you like the Captain Coder. Expanded Cuber. He's all right. He's not bad. He's trying his best. What is the deal? How would I... We want a... internal board renderer. Right, so if I did another board renderer. Width is going to be our box dot width height is going to be our box.height. Board is going to be, we need to have a private board data. This is interesting here because I don't want to actually have to calculate it out multiple times. Board data. We'll make it nothing initially. Board data. Zoom is equal to parent.zoom. Same zoom in and zoom out. That's interesting. I can build like a little zoom in, zoom out feature. I'm realizing. When we set this, we're going to say if current selection is bounding box, board data equals parent.board.get selection of current of box. So we'll actually pull it out when it changes. Then we have a board renderer there. Is it going to render in a weird place? So I'm kind of thinking this bounding box render is not the correct thing to do. Instead, we need to have like a draggable area. I'm thinking we actually render something different. So I think that's going to end up rendering the top left corner. Let's see what happens. Let's draw a little bit of a board here. Yeah, that's kind of cool though. All right, so the selection I make, it will render like that. You see that, how it's rendering? I don't know if you can see that in the little preview on the top right. But if I add a little thing in here and then I select it, I could select this chunk as well. So we can do the selection pretty, but now I have like a separate box up here. That's super interesting. So I want there to be a thing in front of it, and we're not actually able to click and interact with that board. So I need something that shows up in front. This needs to be shifted. And there's like a drag in front of everything. So I was saying, if we make it so that you can put a content inside of the bounding box, maybe that's what we do, and then we nest the board inside of it, the selection inside, and we'll put a thing in front of it that's the actual draggable thing. Okay, so our bounding box renderer needs to have a child content. Is that the render? I mean, it needs a render fragment. Let's go look at how I did it in our draggable. Yeah, okay, so it's this. So we have a child content. And I think we can just do, we can say that this can be, I'm curious if we just do child content and let it do its thing. It's a little hard, it's going to be hard to tell now because the child content will be on top. Okay, so it did, and you'll notice it actually like offsets it a little bit because I think there's this other div inside. Right, so we have this div here. So I need to add in a div for this. That is going to be our class child content.
Whoa.
Proton! Thank you for the raid! Proton, welcome in, folks. You guys don't know Proton. You should get to know him. Incredible engineer. Commodore, he's working on Amiga stuff right now. How's your demo coming along? You still working on your demo? I think you were. Last time I checked, I think you were. Child content. Like this. Position absolute. So we're going to put this, the child content will be absolute in the top left corner. Top 0, left 0. Hot swap that in. Still has a minor offset to it, which is interesting. Margin 0, padding 0. Do I have to do that? That's interesting. Let's add in a. We made it at an opacity. That might be RGBA. Sorry, background color. Super interesting. Good progress. You're on a break. Gotcha. Just so we can see it. 0.2. Oh, that wouldn't be a background color because you can't see it because there's stuff behind it. But if I were to select like that, yeah, it's getting covered. So the end border is getting covered. I wonder if we can scale to fit or something, make it a little bit smaller. Overflow hidden. We do that. Almost. That's weird. We get the overflow in just one direction. It's not actually okay. So I actually think this is fine. Do this. Overflow Y hidden. So it would just be overflow hidden. That's bizarre. It's showing up on top of that border. What if we made our bounding box border wider? 5? Yeah, it's like floating over it a little bit on the right side. That is bizarre to me. It's so bizarre. Oh, maybe I need to make the width. Hang on. Let's go back into our width 100%. There we go. There we go. Height 100%. Okay. So we can have our selection there. It's actually there's like a separate board inside right now. If I were to change my selection. Okay. So technically our board, there's like a separate board built inside there. So we have like a board renderer. When I do this selection like that, inside is actually a copy of our board. Now I want to be able to, so you'll notice if I were to draw some stuff out here, it's actually drawn on my board, but the internal board stays the same. So what I want to do is we end up making our selection clear out if we do anything else. Okay. But we can select some. All right, I'm super close to being able to drag. I want to now make this thing. I need to add it. I need to make a thing on top of the board is going to be our draggable. So can I make a div here? Draggable equals true. And we're going to wrap our board in it. And This will be our drag area. Class. It's our drag area. Okay. And I need to put it on a high layer. Z index 100. And I need to put it... That's interesting. I need something to block the board so I don't I'm not clicking on the board. Is this... Did it actually go through? Let me do a rebuild here. So I'm still drawing on the board underneath, which is interesting. Yeah. Huh. Alright, I need to take a quick break. We're gonna take a quick 3-minute, 5-minute break. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna figure this out. We're super close to having our drag and drop moving, being able to select and move some tiles around the board. So don't go anywhere. Captain Coder return. Hang tight, everyone. I'll be right back. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Captain Coder's back. We're going to hop back in here. So what I'm realizing, I got myself some Earl Grey tea. Oh, actually, it's ginger tea, not Earl Grey. It's just some ginger tea, caffeine-free ginger tea. A little bit spicy. Let that steep for a few minutes here. Try not to forget about it. Sometimes I forget and it steeps a little bit too long. So what I'm realizing while I was making my tea is the reason I can't interact with this thing is the component underneath is the draggable. Also, it doesn't seem to be... It's interesting because the layer... One second. I don't understand why this drag area index isn't higher. Why it's not blocking other things. Let's check that out. The board overlay, right? Oh, is it because I'm inside of the board overlay? Is that what's happening? Oh, if I have a selection... Hang on, where is board overlay? Clipboard. The board overlay... Clipboard preview. Child content. Might be too slow. This thing. This Z index. Oh, I have to be an absolute. I have to be absolute. Okay. That's why it's not interacting with that. Drag area position. Absolute. Now I can... It's interesting. Now okay, so now this thing becomes draggable. Pretty sure... Oh, no, it's just on top? I must have to cancel and stop the propagation. It's just showing up on top. I can't determine what I'm dragging right now. Let's add in, even though it's draggable, I think we need to still have things in here telling us what's going on with it. It now is showing up on top though, so we can see that it is above these things. Feel like I'm in a nested mess here. A mess of nested nastiness. The... I want to be able to drag this component on drag stop propagation. I might have to actually do on drag start, prevent default, and then on drag start console.writeLine drag started. Can we format this so it's on new lines here? A little surprised. Oh, I need to put an at here. Drag selection started. I'm pretty sure if I were to get rid of this board renderer. Ooh, won't let me comment that out. What do comments? Forward slash is not doing. How do I? Why won't that add a comment? Right, let's delete that. Oh, is it just because width 100%, height percent? Still not actually dragging this thing, which is super bizarre to me. It's like the overlay the overlay is on top of it somehow. Oh, I still can. Okay, so this thing just isn't draggable. So when I disable that overlay, there's nothing in it. Can I just delete? All right, there's a clipboard preview. All right, can I click on this thing is a question. On click, clicked. Yeah, I'm not interacting with this thing. Something is preventing me from interacting with that. Just all together. There's something blocking it. And I'm assuming it must be my tiles overlay. Which is interesting because this should be on top of it. Clipboard preview. Z index, maybe not. I literally am unable to click on this thing. All right, so now clipboard previews in on top of it. Still dragging the thing underneath. I can't. How do I make this so I can interact with it? I can still interact with these. I have a thought. Is the still on top of that? Why am I unable to on click clicked drag area? Just fascinating. How do I do a comment? The comment button isn't working. Razor, comment. Okay, it's at star. Really weird that I'm not able to do a comment there. Comment down here works. That's fascinating to me. I can't click on this thing. The board overlay is in the way. What is in the way now? Clipboard preview. But it should let me click through because those are inside. Unless something is just stopping the click propagation. What's going on with this? Preview clicked, walks in. Happy day, my friend. Happy. Preview clicked. Okay, preview's clicked. But I'm not getting... It's my bounding box renderer. That is so interesting. How you been, friend? Walks in. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome to the stream. Can I get rid of this preview? Might be able to just get rid of the preview there. But yeah, happy Wednesday, Walks in. It's great to see you. I hope you've been well. All right, so now board overlay. I'm just so confused. I am doing well. Trying to still working on this this selection tool. I've been working on this all week. Quite tricky. I'm just trying to understand web development a little bit better. That should be behind these things, right? The overlay is enabled. Let's try something here. Let me edit you. Why can't I add index -1? Now these are in front of everything. I really just don't understand why this component that I have here is behind everything. I find that Blazor stuff interesting. I am a fan of anything that keeps me away from JavaScript, but I'm doing Maui stuff right now. Cool. Yeah, I haven't done any Maui stuff. I think it could be really interesting. It looks really interesting to me. I'm trying to make this thing clickable. So this thing that I'm pushing behind stuff right here should be clickable. But when I go to click, and I can see here my elements here, I use the element selector. What's so interesting is that even with the z-index above everything, it appears behind all of this stuff to the mouse click, the mouse pointer. So I can't actually interact with it. So, like, I don't want to do another hack. It's just super interesting that I can't access this thing. And I don't understand why. I'm curious if I did something like this. I'll be able to interact with that. I have this, and then I could click on that. So I can click on that, but the second I put it inside of this thing, so the second I do something like this, position absolute. I want this to reload the whole thing. I can't click it now, even if I move its z-index in front of everything. Oh, or can I? Okay, I can click it there. If I put you inside of the bounding box. I can't. Okay, so when it's in a bounding box, I can't click it anymore. I don't understand that. What is so special about the bounding box? Does the bounding box, does this need to have its z-index be higher as well? This feels like madness. What the heck? This is crazy. I'm getting quite frustrated. I may end up just stopping the stream early here because I'm too frustrated to work on this, or maybe work on something else. Because this doesn't make sense to me. That being inside of it's like a nesting issue. I have my clipboard renderer. The drag area. the second I'm nested inside of this bounding box, I can no longer interact with this thing. Oh, it's reloading. Yeah, so I can click it there. If I move it inside, I can't click it. Why can't I click inside of this? It's like it nested inside of here. Somehow being nested in that child content gives us issues. Okay. So, new strategy. New strategy. Don't have a bounding box. Instead, I'll just draw. We'll do a full rectangle here. We'll manually do it. I don't understand that. That is so weird to me. And I spent this time making it so I could do an outline on that thing. Bizarre. We can still leave the outline. We can still have the board renderer inside of it. And then we have to do this another weird hack though. I'm gonna do a weird hack, and I really dislike this. Where so I'd have to add it here. There's something within like z-indexing that I'm not understanding. I don't want it to be the bounding box that gets clicked. I want it to be the internal thing that we're dragging. Yeah, for some reason, this thing, let's do a push. Yeah, the bounding box, it's still missing it. So see here, the bounding box doesn't have it. I'd have to move the bounding box. I don't want my bounding box to be above everything, but I want the thing inside the bounding box to be clickable. It's that there is a layer here that I'm using to detect these drags that is blocking it. And no matter what I do, if I put a child, it's like the z-index is, I don't understand z-indexing. It's like the z-index is relative. It's very, very interesting to me. I need to go back. This still needs to have a child content in here. I want this content to be clickable. And even if I put the z-index higher than everything else, so it renders on top of things, it still is like being consumed somehow by everything above it. So let's check this out. So if in my child content, my clipboard renderer, if I move this inside, so I have this box here. Let me comment out this. So I've placed this box inside of my board renderer. And I've set its z-index to 100. Okay. So this is the part that I'm confused about. Do z-indexes So now if I draw one of these boxes, I can't click on it. It's being consumed by the board overlay. Hang on, let's make the board overlay background color blue. So check it out. Even though this, the mouse, what's so crazy to me, this feels like a bug in like the rendering to me. Even though this layer is rendering behind this element, the mouse event is getting the thing that's behind it. So that's the part that is weird to me that I don't understand. And it's because it's a child element of something that is behind this. Yeah, it's super weird. So check it out. The mouse event is going to this thing that is actually behind that square. And there's something about how I've nested it. I don't understand. It feels like it's a bug. Hey, let's try it in Firefox. Let's try in a different browser. It's like, my expectations of how it should work. All right, so it happens in Firefox too. Science Balint, hope you've been well, my friend. Welcome back to the stream. I'm getting frustrated. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Apparently, if you try and open up my Internet Explorer, it just says, hey, by the way, use Edge. Yeah, this makes very little sense to me. But I have a workaround. I can do this. All right, so this is going to be my workaround here. I just really dislike this workaround because it's like the box render shouldn't matter. I don't want my bounding box to be clickable. I want the things inside my bounding box to be clickable. Yeah. I kind of want my bounding box to be draggable. Maybe that's what I do. Maybe I make my bounding box draggable. Hang on, let's try. No, because then my bounding box layer I need to have like an argument passed that says like, where does the bounding box exist? Because then the bounding box, I need to set the Z index of the bounding box. Hang on. Let's explore this further. Bounding box. I just don't want to keep this. Setting this Z index thing is crazy. Having to do that over and over and over on every child component here. All right, so let's do bounding box. Z index 1000. Child condet. Z index 1000. And then that content also has a Z index of 1000. Right? I'm not doing drag it. This has a Z index of 1000. There we go. Still not it. That didn't do it. That didn't fix this issue. It's so crazy. Yeah, that didn't work. If I put it first, it's like it's hitting this in the DOM order. Still above it. It's so weird. I don't understand. If I get rid of that layer altogether, I start, see how it's like ignore. Now I'm getting the things that are under it still. This makes no sense to me. Something's weird with my clipboard renderer. It's like I don't understand. Why don't I see clipboard anywhere? Bounding box. Oh, I got rid of the surrounding clipboard. This makes no sense to me. I don't understand that at all. Are the pointer events off somehow? Hang on. Are pointer events off somewhere? Pointer event all? Well, this is, I'm not even using these. Bounding box renderer. Pointer events all. Oh. No, pointer. Ah, haha. I was turning off the pointer events on the box. Oh. Oh, man. Okay. My mom, that was driving me crazy. Okay. Oh, man. I was losing my mind. Okay. Woo, Disco, welcome back to the stream. You're just in time to see me lose my freaking mind. Woo! Okay. We gotta undo a bunch of stuff. Welcome back to the stream. I'm losing my brain. I forgot I had done that. I'd forgotten I'd done that. Okay, that's a good thing. Oh. Jeez, that hurt. I was about to throw my computer across from Iron Branded. Great to see ya. Whew. Yeah, I was close to losing my mind there. All right, we need to go in here. Made a lot of changes here. This is just, let's do a commit on this one. Chore, fix namespace. Yeah, it's my own fault for making it so that you couldn't click on those things. So there's a reason for it. It's like I was realizing, oh, there's no pointer events. Whew, losing my mind. Okay, our bounding box. Walks in. Thank you for the hat, Ratim. Let's get a hat on here. I think I might need to sit down. Thank you there. Oh, that was brutal. Bounding box tool, select tiles tool. Feel like I modified a bunch of crazy things. Maybe it didn't. Maybe not. Or I did manage to undo them, I suppose. All right, so clipboard, razor, bounding box. Okay, looks like I didn't do that much in it. Thank you for the second hat, Shy Programmer. Welcome back to the stream. Let's get another hat added to the stack here. Boom, boom, new hat. Thank you so much for that. Okay, I think I actually want the, all right, so I think let's close everything. Whew. It's losing my mind. All right, so our bounding box renderer. We don't actually want the pointer events like this. I feel like I've added stuff all over. Thank you for the, yeah, I like them too. They're pretty nice. They're pretty nice. In our clipboard renderer, the drag content needs to have the pointer events all. I wish I had done a stash instead. All right, so we have our board renderer here, like this. And what I was trying to do was adding it in a div. Okay, so let's add in a div here. It's going to be our dragable drag area, like this. This needs to be draggable true. And we need to make it so that the mouse events happen on the drag area. Drag area. This one is interesting. It probably needs to be position absolute, so it'll wrap the content width, fit content height, fit content. So it's gonna say take the things inside, make sure I'm big enough for it. Pointer events, all. Make all the pointer events happen. And to make sure, on click, I think it might be sending the clicks to the child content as well. So I think we need it disabled on the child content. We're going to find out here in just a second. Console.writeLine click, clicked draggable. I need an at in front of this. All right, let's run this. I still don't think that's going to fire. So I think it's going to send the event to the selected board underneath. Yeah, so it's sending it. There's a board underneath that it's drawing on. Oh, it's still. Oh, our Z index here. Z index. Well, we're gonna add a layer for this. This is our like selected selection layer. All right, let's go ahead and do that. Var. Selection layer. And we want to go into our board renderer. Selection layer. Should be above everything. Everything. Should it be? Might need to be below our drag layer. Because this is like this drag layer should probably be called drop layer, if I'm completely honest. I don't know if I can rename that throughout the program, so I just have to be careful. All right, so we can click in there. It is detected, but notice it's drawing on the board inside now, which we don't want. So we need like a second thing to say like disable clicks on the internal board. Which is funny, question mark. This needs to have track area. I feel like I'm getting like the nesting here. There has to be a simpler way. I think I'm like losing my mind here. I'm doing okay, Shy Programmer. How are you? Thank you for asking. I got really frustrated with some CSS nonsense that I induced upon myself. Disable input. So we're going to create a thing here called disable input on the child. Called disable mouth. Pointer event none. So essentially what happened is I made something I was trying to click on something where the clicking was disabled and I couldn't figure out why. But then I figured out why. Okay. Oh, yes. This is exactly what I wanted. Oh man. There we go. There we go. All right. So this is what I've been working on this entire time. All right. I want to be able to draw some map stuff like this, select it, and then move that chunk of the map. This is what I'm trying to, and then drop it somewhere else and remove it. That's what I've been working on all week. And we're getting so close. But yeah, I want to be able to select an area and then move that area. So now we can. So now I can't disable that area. But yeah, I want to be able to move that area. Ooh, that's an interesting side effect. Yeah, so that bounding box. Notice I selected this chunk here. Technically, the way I have selection set up, we're gonna keep going for now. Oh, thank you so much, brain. Oh, we got that. We got the selection working somewhere I want. Todd Makes Game, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. We select this, we can drag that like that. Okay. We are having so much fun today, Todd Makes Games. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday. Hope you're having a beautiful Wednesday, my friend. Okay. I don't want to be able to click it. I need to be able to drag. Well, if we click it, clicking's fine. If I click outside of it, we need to disable it. Okay, so I want to come over to sunny and 70 today. Not bad. Nice. It's getting up to 90-ish Fahrenheit here today. 90-ish Fahrenheit. It's not too bad yet. What's the temperature right now? 62 right now. But it's getting up. 62 is the low today, or 62 is the current temperature. It's getting up to 93. Not as hot as yesterday. That's a good thing, I think. Heat can be rough. Heat can be good, but heat can be rough as well. So what I want to do is we do a click. At the end of the click, I want my tool to be null. Or I guess my tool is already null. I want my clipboard not selected to be null. If we click somewhere, this is an interesting thought. Yeah, I can't do that. This is a hack. If clipboard is a clipboard renderer. Renderer dot current selection. And I think that is set up. Yeah, else board data equals this, and we'll end up not rendering it. I guess we can leave it there like that, actually. Yeah, I'm in the Southwest. It gets hot here. You're in Europe, so it's very different naturally. Nice. Ryan, it's wonderful to see you. Congratulations on number 17. Smab, you're just in time to see me lose my mind writing horrible, horrible code. I was about to lose my mind. Pointer events got me. Smab, it's great to see you, my friend. We're so close. We made some interesting progress here. Let's rerun this. So we're getting close to having this do what I want. All right. You're here for the horrible Oracle clone. I'm glad. So I have my selection. And I can drag that selection. The move is not done yet. The move is not done yet. Yeah. So I have it. So can do this. There's a bunch of interaction I need to do, but I can select an area and I can drag that area. If I click off, yeah, there are some weird things, right? So we need to figure out when I click away, I need to cancel like the selection if I click away. It does, but I don't want to draw. So like there's some weird things I need to do here. My hack right now is basically if we have something selected, deselect it and then don't do something else. I did some refactoring of my tooling here for the drag and drop stuff though. So that was a nice, I feel good about that. You should have been here 20 minutes ago when I was like, I'm about to quit. I was ready to throw my computer. Capturing pointer events was not working. All right, so if I select an area, I click away, we can unselect it. All right, so there is a weird thing where if I have let's get a different figure here. If I partially select a figure, normalization is doing a weird thing here. So technically, the internal board is wider, so I need to have it like resize my bounding box to the actual selection. Which is weird, right? So the way I have set up the selection tool, board data dot bounding box, I kind of need to do this, and we'll do value. This would be an option here. I think this is gonna look weird. Let's make sure this reloads. All right, so let's say now I select this area. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, didn't work. Select that area. Okay. All right, that's not what I want. The selection that it's giving us is apparently board.get bounding box has an off by one error as well. We need to translate the bounding box of the board. Hang on, can I go forward in time? I can't. All right, so we need to, if it's a bounding box, else current selection equals value. I suppose, yeah. All right. Current selection. Current selection equals board data dot bounding box of a bounding box, but then we need to like shift it. Bounding box is not correct either. It's not getting the. It needs like a +1. I don't understand that. Hang on, I might have to write a test for this. Notice it's missing. If I do a bounding box of just that size. Rows, that makes sense. Rows and columns needs a +1. That makes sense to me, because this is the width and height If we have a size of 1, yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Let's rebuild this. I modified some code. Okay, there's build errors. That makes sense then. No, let's... I didn't mean to click yes, but whatever. What are my build errors? Alright, so I don't actually have any build errors. What is it talking about then? And then I need to shift my top and my left. Alright, let's try a thing here. Current selection equals bounding box. Oh, this should be value. Sometimes I just get in a rush. Okay. Add this in here. So see how it's selected? Hang on. There it goes. So this is what I want it to do. I want it to just select that. The behavior's weird. Current. We want to do width top left equal to value dot top value dot top left. Goob! TAG, how you been, friend? Great to see you. I'm doing absolutely wonderful. Now that I'm less frustrated. There we go. Ah, this is still not right. Because it would I want it to shift it over. Alright. I think I need to leave that alone for now. Or maybe I just need to make it select, increase the width and height of that selection. Might be more intuitive. It feels very unintuitive. Or I need to have it render very differently and have it do an actual outline of all of the things that are selected. You have a business here, would like this possible for you to do, or you not to do that. Send me a link on... Send me a link, or send me some information on Discord. Feel free to send me a direct message on Discord. We can talk. I'm very busy currently. This term I'm quite busy. So it will be a little bit difficult. Okay. I'm gonna undo this. Yeah, send me the info on Discord. I don't want to make any promises because I'm quite busy right now. All right, so I'm going to go back to this just for now. We'll fix that soon. You could also just use the system.drawing.rectangle struct. I could do that. So it's not actually that my rectangle is not drawing properly. The issue is that the way my selection works is making it so that the rectangle needs to shift over some amount when I do that. Hang on, can I just go forward again? All right. So let me show you my unit test Regathian, and I think it might make more sense why it does that. So this isn't what I wanted to look at. And I do have to do some math to shift it over. Contain, keep tiles with partial figures. Okay. So here is... So I just have to do a little bit of math to realign it. It's not that bad. I'm just not feeling it. So when I do a selection here, so let me do a little bit of a zoom. Can we get both of these on the screen at the same time? Cool. So if I select this area, I have, thanks Goob, this figure and this figure cannot be moved, partially moved. So I have decided, maybe it's the wrong answer, if I select those tiles, it should create a shape like this, where it includes these things down here. I don't know if you can see down at the bottom. So when I select those, it's gonna select this area like that. And it doesn't include that whole rectangle, it just adds the extra things outside of it. Okay. And what I want to have happen is what's happening is, well, it selects that area, so you'll notice, but then it like shifts over. So I need to do like a translation of the difference. So I don't think I need the rectangle tool to do that. So I need with the top left shifted, but I also need it's like my selection box needs to get moved over as well. That's a bit weird. The lower bound should be inclusive and the up. Oh, you just didn't see the bottom. It is inclusive. I think. I don't know. Let me see if I can get it working and see if it'll make sense. It is inclusive. It's that it's not including all the selected tiles because you only selected the figure. So the question is, all right, so let's turn that off. If I make this selection here, I'm selecting these 3 tiles. What should be the behavior of this selection? What should be the behavior of that selection? What all should be included in that selection? So that's the decision we have to make, right? So this one's obvious. If I select that, everything gets included. I'm a little surprised this is not doing what I want it to do. It's when I have a figure and I only have it partially selected that it needs to determine what to do. So notice the selection includes that tile, that figure, and all of the tiles underneath it, as well as the tiles that were selected. I want this box to just appear different. Yeah. So it's like my render is just not doing it right? So I need to actually shift it over a little bit. I need to say, okay, well, if these bounding blocks have different, so we'll say, I need to calculate if I need to do a shift. Board raw box. I could, right? So I just want to get this one working here. So yeah, so the idea would be I might be able to toggle figures on and off, right, of what's going to be selected. Absolutely. Yeah, so it comes down to like, what do I want it to do? And part of me is going like, well, it would be easier if I just said, well, if it's not completely selected. So here's the problem with that. If I only do a partial selection and I move, that figure needs to actually get deleted now, right? So if I do a partial selection, this figure needs a tile underneath the whole thing. So if I actually delete, so here's the thing, if I delete this section, it removes the figure. And so it's like, is that the behavior that I actually want? The figure needs something underneath the entirety of the figure, right? So if I do a selection and then I move without that figure, what happens to the figure? Does the figure add the tile back in? Do we keep the figure? Should I remove the figure? I felt like this was the most intuitive thing to do. Well, the figure is 1 unit. Okay, So then I would ignore the figures that are occupied. Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say I have this. I want to select these tiles. It's interesting that the figure shows up on top, but I want to fix that. I select these tiles. So now my bounding box doesn't it has like a chunk missing out of it when I move it. That's an interesting. I like Regathian. I think I like your version better, if I'm being honest. I like your version better where I'd exclude where I don't have the whole figure. I think I like your version better. And then the way I render my selection needs to be different. It needs to like draw a box. Yeah, the figure takes ownership of those tiles. I really like that. Option for selection is that the figure has ownership of those tiles. So if we want to do it that way, my test, let's change the test and then see if we can rewrite it. This would be exclude tiles with partial figures, and instead this should be just this selection. This should be the result. So instead we drop the tiles that don't have it. I like that. I think I like that way better. It's a good question. Yeah, so now there's an interesting question. If there's both a figure and a prop occupying a tile, I think the same thing would happen for partial selection. Oh man, that's interesting. That's interesting. It certainly is easier to do this. Well, right, but you can have, let me show you. All right, so let's have a look here at this. So let me turn my dot cam on. So the question kind of is, what happens? All right, so I have this prop. So this is a prop. So each figure can have a prop, and each tile can have a prop, can have a figure. What if we have this, and I select these 4 tiles here? Does the prop move with me? Yeah. Or what if I have a figure like that, and I select these 2 tiles? All right, so I select the tiles containing the tile. So like there's an interesting question there. For selection, it certainly would make it easier from a programming standpoint to have it say, oh, well, I have a partial selection. Let's go ahead and include that. No, because the prop is positioned on the tile underneath all the tiles on it. So yeah, but look, check it out. So check this out. Is what if I select? Yeah, so like the layer thing might make sense, right? So like, well, what are we selecting? Are we selecting tiles and figures and other things? So like if I select these 2 tiles and I move this guy needs to have a tile. So the question would be like, do we just duplicate that there's a tile underneath it instead of... So like there's these weird edge cases. And it like, you know, Regathian, I think, said it's sort of a user preference, right? It's a user preference. Smab, thank you for bringing that up. That like, well, what about a prop? What about props? We haven't implemented props yet, but it's going to be a thing. I think from a programming standpoint, the easiest thing is to have them included and then maybe later. Yeah. So having the different layers. Yeah, so figure precedent takes over that. Yeah, so it's like, how do we know, like, under what condition does it make sense? Right, under what condition? So then there's like these edge cases you have to program. Like, okay, well, if I have a thing selected like this, I think this is the easiest way to write the code right now. It may not be the most intuitive to the user, but it is. And then think about adding a layer system later for doing it. So we could change to a different selection, type of selection. We could add a selection filter. So I think the default right now is going to be a get selection like this. And then we might pass in some sort of selection, make an optional selection strategy that we can pass in that could be like the types of filters. So I think I'm going to leave it like this for now, for simplicity on my end to do that, and then make it so it's possible to customize how we filter it later. So get selection may accept a selection strategy later that can allow us to modify. And then that would let us extend this method with an optional argument at the end. Keep it simple for now, and then if we decide we need that, we'll add that in. Makes sense part is just a matter of game mechanics or editor capabilities. Like imagine a property window for the figure that makes sense if a prop would also be selected. Yeah. So it's almost like we're examining a tile. Yeah, I think Irrigathian's making some really good points. Really good points. So yeah, from right now, a tile is aware of the figure on it. There's no such thing as a prop yet in the code. It will be aware of a prop that's on it, but then the tile and the prop and the figure both happen to know where its top left corner is, as well as like it's going to need to know its orientation. I think for our clipboard here, we have our raw box, and we need to get like a translation of that raw box over. Smab, you can, right? Technically you can't. I was thinking the answer to that question would be yes. I think non-contiguous, because that's exactly what we're doing here, is it's non-contiguous. So I'll show that in a second, and I think it'll make sense once I get this working. Visually, it's hard to see. Solomon, see, it's going all right. It's going all right. We're making progress. Our raw box, we need a translation position. Translation is our raw box dot top left minus our value. It's gonna be like our shift value dot top left. And then we're going to say that our current selection is going to be equal to our raw box with top left equal to there's like a difference here. I think it's equal to value dot top left minus translation. Is that right? Might be plus the translation. Remember to commit regularly to make sure you do not lose your progress. Yeah, we've been doing commits regularly. Multi-select, yeah. I think that is going to be an important thing to be able to add. When we hold shift-click, it's going to add just that one tile plus all the things in there. Should be plus translation.
Whoa.
Beegs with the big ol' raid. Have you met big ol' Beegs? Beegs is raiding us today, you know. Beegs is so great, so grand, so cool, so wonderful today. Folks, be sure to give Beegs a follow. See that little button there? See that heart? Give him some love. Beegs, how the heck was your stream? Tell us all about it. Tell us all about it. I hope you're having a beautiful day, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so, so much. Everybody, welcome to the stream. Holy cannoli. That's a big old raid. Welcome in. The AIA Deflux streams. Panda isn't a coder. Thank you guys so much for being here. KV Milos. We're gonna have to do a whole montage song now here. All the chat. Biggs, I appreciate you being here. We got the AIA and Deflux streams. Panda isn't a coder. KV Milos. Thank you guys for following me. You started work on your mechanically challenged. Amazing Beings. Thank you for the hat. Let's get a hat on this stack. Boom. Thank you for the hat. Katie Codes. Katie. Oh, Katie. Thank you for following me today. We got Billy Raker. Thank you for following me as well. Billy Raker, Katie Codes, KV Milos. Thank you guys so much for being here. Folks, I am Captain Coder. Captain Coder is me, and me is a computer science educator. My full-time job is teaching computer science and programming at a school for ages 10 to 14. Beegs, thank you so much for the raid. I'm glad I hope Mechanically Challenged is going well. How is your implementation coming along? For anyone who doesn't know, Mechanically Challenged is a challenge, a game dev challenge hosted by Muniz and myself. Every month, we're trying to do it every month. This is our second month. This month, the goal is to implement slopes and loops. Deflux says, question, I have Blazor server app and want to hold some data from an EF database. I was thinking of using in-memory EF database, but it recommends against using that in the docs. What would you recommend? I actually am really new to Blazor development. So I don't know that I have a particularly good opinion because I haven't used EF database. So I actually don't know the pros and cons of doing it. You did loops, Sigian did loops, so you can do loops, you can do slopes, or you can do both. You can do both. Yeah, so I'm sorry, Deflux streams. I'm actually learning Blazor myself here. I'm having a lot of fun with it. We're building a map editor. I've lost my map editor. No, here it is. We're building a tool for making a game. So we're building a map editor here. We're working on a tool to let us do selection. So, I need to do, hang on. It's weird that happened. This should be plus translation, people are saying. I actually don't know that should be the case at all. Let's try again. I got distracted here. Depends on what you want out of the database, Regathian says. I'd use SQLite if it's small. SQLite's always a good choice for small things. Okay. But then I need my top left to get shifted back. All right, so something's not quite right here. All right, if I just do value.topleft here, this works. For displaying that. Okay, so I could do a selection here. We're working on making a drag and drop, like sort of copy and paste. I want to be able to select some stuff and move it around. The raw box top left is always going to be 0, 0. So it's related actually to our width and height. That's what's going on. Int width diff. Int height diff. So it's going to be a relation with the difference in our width and height. We need to shift it by some amount in that way.
Whoa.
Dark Time 255. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome to the raid, the raid train. Tell us about your stream, Dark Time. Welcome back, or welcome in. Great to have you. In-memory databases are mostly just used in testing. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, I've lost a little bit of thought. SQLite is terrible in a server scenario, though. Don't want multiple threads poking at it at once. Depends on your use case. I think that's true. In-memory cache. In my experience, I've mostly done stuff with Postgres and NoSQL databases. Dark Time, how was your stream? Tell us all about it. Beegs, I'm sorry, I don't know if I checked in, but if you got a raid and run, let me know. And have a beautiful day, my friend. We're gonna be wrapping up here. I have to get to work in a little bit, but we're gonna go. I really want to finish this. So our width. So we need to subtract this amount out. Translation is going to be our value.top left minus our width diff and our height diff. Let's take a look here. I've used SQLite without a lot of issues. That said, if you're having a ton of, I think you're right. If you have a ton of users, I needed to have that happen. Still an issue. Still an issue. Works from that angle. Did these need to be swapped? Idrint, welcome into the stream. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a beautiful day. It's wonderful to see you. We are working on our selection tool. So it works well if we select the whole figure. We want to make it. Day is nearly over. The width seems to work that way. It's going to be dependent on which direction we're coming from. Oh. I don't know if I have the brain power to make this work currently. So when we select a partial area, we don't want to include the tiles. So you'll notice we have a partial selection here. We want to select the whole figure. It's evening coding. Yeah, my brain is dying right now. I hate to. We just got all these beautiful people here raiding into us. I hate to leave. We're working on making this drag and drop. We're working on like a clipboard feature for our tool here. And my brain can't handle it. My brain can't handle it right now. But we would want to include that. So getting it to display what is actually selected. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to make it so that way the clipboard has an opacity. Let's make sure. Yeah, the draggable area. I wanted to do opacity of 0.25 or 0.5. So you would see by doing the opacity, you see which tiles you're not going to include. So if I do this, and I select that, it's a little bit easy to tell which tiles are not included in it. So then when you do the drag, so I wanted to do the opacity that way. Yeah. If each client gets their own database in SQLite, in the way is the way to go. That's true. But in a Blazor server scenario, that's rarely the case. Yeah, so one thing with Blazor server, if you have singletons, that was something I realized. If you have a singleton on the server side, it's shared amongst everything. So that's one thing to watch out for. So it has to do with like your database connections and stuff. Okay. All right. What would be... It's so bad. Redis might be the way to go. All right, can we... So there's 4 situations. Really, there's 2 situations. One for up and down, one for left and right. But how do I know which direction I'm coming from? I'm tired. I think we gotta end the stream here, folks. I hate to raid and run. Sorry. I hate to get raided and have to go, but I gotta get out of here. I gotta get ready for work. I have work in 45 minutes, so I do have to get ready. I think a lot of times if I just step away from something, I often come to a solution. Yeah, I've never had a real issue with SQLite either, but most of my stuff is for really, really small. Really, really small. We're gonna go raid. All right. Options. Practical NPC or Sorcery Story. We could also raid Timbo Day. Timbodette. I always say Timbo Day, but it's Timbo. Yeah, let's do Sorcery Story. All right. So it is written, so it shall be done. I really want to finish. I'm probably going to finish this later today. I am on vacation until Monday. So normally I stream on Saturday, but I won't be back until Monday. But everyone, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Remember to keep coding, keep growing, keep being the best you can be. You're welcome back anytime. Join the Discord. Join the Discord. If you want to know when I'm coming back. Thank you guys so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!